Hi, welcome to today's video where I'm diving into the fascinating yet tragic life of Queen Catherine Howard, the fifth wife of Henry VIII. Catherine is often remembered for her youthful charm and tragic end, but there's so much more to her story than the scandal and the rumours. In this video, I'll be answering 10 of the most frequently asked questions about this ill-fated queen, shedding light on her personality, her relationship with Henry, and her legacy. Let's explore the real Catherine Howard beyond the myths and misunderstandings. Number 1. Who was Catherine Howard? Catherine Howard was the fifth wife of King Henry VIII. She married Henry VIII on the 28th of July 1540 and was executed on the 13th of February 1542 after having been found guilty of high treason by an act of attainder. She was a member of the powerful Howard family, the premier noble family in England, and was the niece of Thomas Howard, 3rd Duke of Norfolk, and first cousin of the late Queen Anne Boleyn. Number 2. How old was Catherine Howard when she married Henry VIII? Well, Catherine's exact birth year is uncertain, but her biographer Gareth Russell puts forward a sound argument for 1522/1523, based on family wills, contemporary comments, and circumstantial evidence, such as the ages of her fellow maids of honour. This would mean that Catherine was about 17 or 18 years of age when she married the 49-year-old King Henry VIII in 1540. Number 3. Why was Catherine Howard executed? The Bill of Attainder, and that is done by Parliament, the Bill of Attainder that convicted and attainted Catherine of high treason, stated that she had proved to have been not of pure and honest living before her marriage, and had allegedly wanted to return to her old abominable life. She had also confederated with Lady Jane Rochford, widow, late wife of Sir George Boleyn, late Lord Rochford, to bring her vicious and abominable purpose to pass with Thomas Culpeper, late one of the King's Privy Chamber. She'd had a sexual relationship with Sir Francis Derham prior to her marriage with the King, and her recent employment of him was seen as proof that she wanted to reignite their relationship. And she'd met secretly with Thomas Culpeper, a groom of the King's Privy Chamber, on a number of occasions during her marriage to the King, helped by her Lady Jane Boleyn, Lady Rochford, who was also attainted of high treason and executed along with Catherine. Catherine was really found guilty of high treason for what she intended to do with these men, not what she'd done. Number 4. How was Catherine Howard related to Anne Boleyn? Anne Boleyn and Catherine Howard were first cousins. Anne's mother, Lady Elizabeth Howard, born around 1476, was the eldest daughter of Thomas Howard, 2nd Duke of Norfolk, by his first wife Elizabeth Tilney. And Catherine's father was the Duke's third son, Lord Edmund Howard, born around 1478. Number 5. Did Catherine Howard have any children? No. Catherine Howard did not have children with Henry VIII or anyone else. They were only married a year and about 3 months before allegations were made about Catherine, and she was confined to her apartments. However, in April 1541, she had been convinced that she was pregnant, and she told the king. It's not known whether she miscarried or had simply made a mistake, or whether she invented it to win favour with the king, hoping that it would soon be true anyway. Number 6. Was Catherine Howard in love with Thomas Culpeper? Well, it's impossible to know Catherine's true feelings. Those were personal to her. But it seems that she'd fallen for his charms when she'd first arrived at court to serve Anne of Cleves, but Culpeper had quickly broken off their romance. He appears to have wanted a full sexual relationship, and that didn't happen, so he broke it off and moved on, leaving a rather distraught Catherine. It was Catherine who initiated things the second time round after she'd become queen. She gave him a cap, sent one of her pages with meals for him when he was ill, and sent him a letter saying how troubled she was by news of his illness and that she had never longed so much for a thing as I do to see you and to speak with you. Then, that summer and early autumn, she acted very rashly, having secret assignations with him on the Northern Progress, including one in her chamber at Lincoln, which lasted from 11 p.m. until 4 a.m. Was it love or lust? True affection or youthful infatuation? It's hard to know. But I think Catherine had fallen in love, and I think the couple thought that with the king in such bad health, he'd nearly died just weeks earlier, that they would soon be together. Was Culpeper in love? Who knows? For him, it could have been about ambition and wealth. If he married Catherine following the king's death, he'd be marrying the Queen Dowager. Nice. Number 7. How did Catherine Howard's early life impact her downfall? Catherine had been sent to live with her step-grandmother, Agnes Tilney, the Dowager Duchess of Norfolk, in 1531, when her father was appointed Comptroller of Calais. Catherine was about 8 or 9 at the time, and it wasn't at all unusual for a child of Catherine's status to be sent to the household of a wealthier and more influential relative to be educated. This was seen as a good thing, as it taught them the skills to climb the ladder of success, and it would be expected that Catherine, as a member of the prominent Howard family, would one day be appointed to serve a Queen of England. She needed to be brought up for that role and also to make a good marriage. The Dowager Duchess is often blamed for running a lax household and thereby contributing to Catherine's downfall by not supervising Catherine properly and allowing her to be involved in inappropriate relationships. But then members of the household, including Catherine herself, were stealing the Duchess's keys to the maidens' dormitory so that the young men could be let in at night. I think the young people in her household were intent on misbehaving whatever the Duchess did. Catherine ended up having 2 questionable relationships during her time in the household, relationships that were reported to Archbishop Cranmer in 1541, and that led to the investigation into Catherine and ultimately her downfall. Number 8. What was Catherine Howard's personality like? In series like The Tudors, Catherine has been depicted as a bit of an airhead, but it's a very unfair depiction. She appears to have been charming, lively and flirtatious, a young woman who loved gossiping and the finer things in life, like the jewels and clothes her husband lavished on her. But she was also intent on being a good queen, taking seriously the traditional role of a queen consort in interceding with the king for mercy. For example, for women in trouble on the Northern Progress, and also for the imprisoned Sir Thomas Wyatt and John Wallop. And she played hostess to ambassadors. While she may have been misbehaving in private with Culpeper on the Northern Progress, Gareth Russell points out that in public, she was at once flawlessly well-mannered and enigmatically subservient, just what Henry VIII expected in his queen. Number 9. What was Catherine Howard's relationship with Henry VIII like? Well, Catherine and Henry's relationship initially appeared affectionate. Henry showered his new wife with gifts and, after the Northern Progress, ordered a bishop to give thanks for the life that he'd lead with her. Catherine gave the king a new lease of life, with him enjoying going out hunting once more. Henry was happy, and Catherine appeared to be happy too. However, the marriage soured as allegations about her past were made and details of her relationship with Thomas Culpeper emerged, leading to a brutal fallout, her execution. Number 10. What was Catherine Howard's legacy? Catherine's legacy is often overshadowed by her scandalous fall and tragic death. Seen by some as a victim of court politics, by some as a tart who deserved her fate, and I'm paraphrasing a tour guide there, and by others as a naive and reckless young queen, and still others as a girl who was used and abused in her formative years and exploited and manipulated her whole life. But her story has fascinated historians for centuries and remains a cautionary tale of Tudor court life, the dangers of being close to the throne. It's easy to see Catherine as a foolish girl and to use her story as some kind of morality tale. But was Catherine simply a young woman out of her depth and trying to navigate an impossible situation? Probably. She made mistakes, as we all do in our teens and 20s, but she died for hers. So that's the 10 most frequently asked questions about Catherine Howard. And I'm sure that you might want to add to those answers, so please do comment. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of Queen Catherine Howard's life and legacy. So thank you for joining me on this exploration of Queen Catherine Howard's life and legacy, from her family ties to Anne Boleyn to the romances and the high stakes of court life. Catherine's story is one of complexity, not just tragedy. Despite her short reign, very short reign as queen, she left a lasting impression on Tudor history, reminding us of both the allure and dangers of power. And if you've enjoyed this look at Catherine, please do like this video, consider subscribing to my channel, and let me know in the comments which aspect of her life you find the most intriguing, or whether there's a question you have about her. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.